Hello and welcome back to our channel. We're really glad you're here with us again today. Before we begin, we want to say something important. This video is not just a simple story. While you listen, you will also be learning new English words and expressions, step by step, in a natural and easy way. So today, we invite you to relax, listen carefully, and discover something new, both about the English language and about yourself. Now let's begin with a few simple questions. Have you ever felt your heart beating fast for no clear reason? Have you ever avoided doing something, not because you couldn't do it, but simply because you were afraid? And have you ever wondered why some people seem naturally brave, while others feel nervous even in normal, everyday situations? Today, we are going to explore one of the most powerful emotions a human being can experience: fear. By the end of this video, you will understand not only why we feel fear, but also why some of us struggle to feel brave, even when we truly want to. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is fear? In simple words, fear is a natural emotional response that helps protect us from danger. It is not something strange or unusual. In fact, every single human being, no matter how confident they seem, experiences fear at some point. Fear is not a weakness. It is actually a tool that our body and brain developed over thousands of years in order to help us survive. To understand this better, let's imagine our ancient ancestors thousands of years ago walking through dangerous forests, surrounded by wild animals and unknown threats. In that kind of environment, fear was extremely useful. If a person suddenly heard a strange noise in the bushes, feeling fear immediately, without thinking too much, could save their life. Their heart would beat faster, their muscles would become tense, and their body would prepare instantly to either fight the danger or run away from it. This natural reaction is often called the fight or flight response, and it still exists inside every one of us today. But here's an interesting question. If fear helped our ancestors survive real physical danger, why do we still feel fear today in a world that is generally much safer? Why do many people feel afraid of things that are not actually life-threatening, like speaking in public, meeting new people, or making an important decision? This is where psychology becomes truly fascinating. Our brain, especially a small part called the amygdala, is responsible for detecting danger and creating the feeling of fear. The problem is that the amygdala cannot always tell the difference between real physical danger and modern emotional stress. In other words, when you feel nervous before a job interview or worried about being judged by others, your brain can react almost the same way it would if you were facing a real physical threat. Your heart rate increases, your palms become sweaty, and your thoughts start racing, even though there is no actual danger in front of you. This explains why so many people struggle with something we often call everyday courage. Being brave doesn't always mean facing lions or dangerous situations. Sometimes being brave simply means speaking your opinion in a meeting, starting a conversation with a stranger, or trying something completely new despite feeling nervous inside. So, why do some people find this easier than others? Psychologists suggest that our past experiences play an enormous role in shaping our fears. If someone experienced embarrassment, failure, or criticism in the past, their brain may automatically connect similar future situations with danger, even if there is no real threat involved. This is why a person who was laughed at while speaking in public as a child might continue to feel intense fear about public speaking, even many years later as an adult. However, and this is something truly hopeful, scientists have discovered that fear is not fixed or permanent. Our brain has an amazing ability called neuroplasticity, which means it can change and adapt over time. This means that even deeply rooted fears can gradually be reduced through practice, patience, and repeated positive experiences. Every time a person faces a fear and survives that uncomfortable moment without real harm, their brain slowly begins to understand that the situation is not actually as dangerous as it once believed. This is exactly why professionals often recommend gradually facing your fears instead of avoiding them completely. Avoiding something frightening might feel comfortable in the short term, but it usually makes the fear stronger over time. On the other hand, facing a fear step by step, even in small amounts, teaches the brain a new, healthier response. It's also important to understand that fear and courage are not opposites. In fact, true courage does not mean feeling no fear at all. Real courage means feeling afraid and choosing to act anyway, because you understand that the situation matters more than your discomfort. This is a key psychological insight. Brave people are not people without fear. They are people who have learned how to act despite their fear. So why does all of this matter to us in everyday life? Because understanding fear allows us to be kinder to ourselves. Instead of feeling ashamed or weak when we feel nervous or hesitant, we can recognize that this reaction is simply part of being human, a natural process shaped by both our ancient biology and our personal experiences. And once we understand where fear comes from, we can begin to slowly, patiently work through it. Let's take a moment now to summarize everything we've learned today. Fear is a natural emotional response, originally developed to protect humans from physical danger. However, in modern life, our brain often reacts to emotional and social situations in a similar way, even when there is no real physical threat. Our past experiences strongly influence which situations we associate with fear. Fortunately, thanks to neuroplasticity, our brain has the ability to change over time, allowing us to gradually reduce our fears through practice and repeated positive experiences. And most importantly, true courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. Isn't it amazing how understanding the science behind our emotions can help us become more confident, more patient with ourselves, and even more courageous in daily life? If you enjoyed learning something new today, both about psychology and about English, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating and educational content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.